Software engineering is evolving. Things are going faster and faster due to AI tooling, but processes, not so much. They're still the same. Daily stand-ups, sprint reviews, retrospectives. Do they still make sense? What are the expectations of engineers within that team? And same for product design, research, and AI people. That's exactly what we talk about. Joining me today is Kate Ivanova, product manager in big tech with many years of experience building products. And that's a real passion of hers. And she has a newly found passion in experimenting, trying out as many tools as possible. So enjoy. I was thinking about kind of the development phase, mainly from a software engineering angle. And a lot of processes are, you take a piece of work, you work on it, you have daily stand-ups, then you have bi-weekly, depending on your cadence, demos and what was delivered in increments. And I feel like with AI tooling, this is accelerating, but the existing processes are still the same.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an existing team. We still have daily stand-ups. People might get blocked multiple times on a day, but there's no like synchronous touch points. I feel like the processes are very much lagging behind with regards to how things are accelerating.
Yeah, and not only processes like team processes, but in general, like, I don't know, something that I like thinking a lot about right now is like the distribution. Because like, yes, it is very easy now to build something like in a way, because then like you are building like a prototype of product, but then like when you want to make it work better or work faster, you also need to like do it in a right way, not pipe coded. But on the other hand, yes, processes are the same, like inside the team, the distribution is the same, and like it's like some part of the environment is very fast and like it's moving forward, but other pieces are still lagging, and you need to still understand how like these two or like three can interact with each other. And you also need to think like, okay, but like, can I actually change something in my processes because they don't work anymore? And I think it is important to have this like mindset of, can I change it? Like, because for example, like with all the agile rituals, they're so set in stones, but they might not work anymore. This like 1 week sprint, 2 week sprint, then like demo, maybe you don't need it like in 2 weeks if you can build something in 1 day.
Exactly. Have you noticed that people look towards the product person for some of the process things? That's been my experience. Always. I think it is because in my experience, product person is the kind of facilitator of the whole processes of the team dynamic. I like, of course, there is like the agile person or like engineering manager, but in terms of like how you, as a product person, you have this connection between like the business and the like team, and to make the team work, you need to also like work on the processes and maybe change them. It's been always part of at least my experience that you need to also adjust processes, and if something is not working, also readjust. Luckily, all of the teams that I worked with were very happy to readjust. So it was never like we only do it like 2 weeks sprint. We have this like retro every Friday. It was more like, do we need it? Okay.
Do we feel that like it doesn't work anymore? And then like we change it.
I like that. I like that a lot with regards to experimenting. I know you've been in bigger organizations, even working on AI products. What works well with regards to then processes or experiments that you've done improving process for delivery?
Well, I think first is that there should be a mindset that team is ready to change something, because especially in big organizations, it's like very like we used to work this way, like the whole company works this way. So why don't we need to change? And like AI, yes, it's like a big fluffy word right now, but it was working before. Why do we need to change it now? So I think this is like the first milestone that you need to like change, or like find people who are willing to change, and with them try to build something together. With AI, I think it is like a lot of because it is much faster like the processes, you need also the like, for example, cadence to be more frequent. You also need to like, for example, in my previous company, we have this like 2-week sprint, and we set the goal for 2 weeks. But with AI, it is changing so much, and also because like it is very new. You don't know a lot of things. There is no playbook. Like now with AI, we are doing things this way.
Yeah.
You don't know. No one knows. Even like people in Lovable, they don't know. So you just need to be ready to adapt and to change. Like you can set something like in the beginning of the week, we are doing it this way on Monday, but then on Tuesday you realize that like with this language model, for example, it doesn't work. You need to change the language model, or maybe there is just like no solution, or you need another solution. And for big company, it means that like you need to go through the whole process of like making it like legally possible. So it's like, yeah, I think the overall idea is that you need to be ready for changes. There are a lot of uncertainty, and you need to adapt, and you need to be ready that like things that you were thinking yesterday, they will be completely different tomorrow. But with that, I think it is still important that something that I do all the time, I still have some milestones. Like, okay, we are doing this like 1-week sprint, and on Friday we still have a result. Maybe it will be not something that we imagine it to be. It will not be like working prototype. Maybe it will be just a prompt, and then we will have some result, because like, yeah, prompt you can do. But even like if it is not ready, you still have a result. You still have a learning. You still like understand something, and you share it. So like people also have this knowledge, and then can iterate later on.
I think that's really smart. Bringing clarity. When I was PM, I thought it was one of my biggest responsibilities. And when you're saying things are just ambiguous and unclear all the time, then it hits kind of your core purpose. So then having a goal every week to deliver something, I think bit by bit, you'll clear up where your purpose is going with this product. I really like that.
That's true. That's true.
Have you also then noticed that in building this, since there are many things that are unclear, usually product could say, okay, this is the direction, kind of zoom out for 2 weeks, engineering team would work, and then they would come back. There was kind of this divide between product and engineering. Have you seen them grow closer because of this as well?
Yes, they are definitely go closer. And I think it is not only between engineering and product, but between all the functions. And like, I think in this era, it is not a good idea to make things like in this silo that like one team is working on something for 2 weeks and then they like share, because it's so unclear, it's so ambiguous, that maybe something like other people can have perspective that can help you to move forward. So I think it is something that I see a lot of change, that like there is no clear line between product design, engineer and user research, data. It's very like kind of in between. So now I think I was always thinking that like I'm a good collaborator with my engineering team and like my designer. But right now I feel that just like collaboration actually change, because it is not that I as PM give like clear requirements and then engineers deliver me the result. It's like I give the requirements and I'm very clear about like what and why, but then we work a lot together in collaboration, because something is not possible to do. Something is very like, I don't know, it takes, let's say 1 week, and like for me it's just not an option. And then we try to understand like, okay, maybe we need to change something. Maybe we can tweak things. Maybe we can do things not on the back end, but was like with prompt, and then we need to change something in prompt. Or maybe we need to change something in design. And so, it's very, I think our collaboration right now is more frequent. And it's not that like we only share results in the daily or like in this like review. It's like more you are always in the topic, and everyone understands better like what is going on. And this is of course like very important for PM to have this clarity, to always share why we are doing things, because it's not like delivery. You are doing something because you need to do something, like because you need to solve a problem, you need to deliver some business result, and maybe there is like some other solution, something to make it even like simpler, faster, that you can do together as a team.
Yeah. I feel like feedback has always been big, but it might be even more of a big thing now. Like the concept of, for me as a software engineer, taking a piece of work, then being on an island and then coming back up and being like, is this okay from a technical sense? That was like something that I struggled with very much early in career. And the advice was always just ask for feedback, or even pair program, right? Instant feedback is the best feedback. The result will be better. And then if I think of the concept of pair programming now with multiple disciplines, because things are accelerating, I'm wondering if it's better if we just, as a few individuals, because I do think you can do this in a small setting, also as product responsible, if you can pair program with multiple eyes on kind of a solution and get this feedback cycle faster and faster.
Yeah.
Because then you can steer and you can direct and you can experiment.
Yeah, that's true. So the faster you get feedback, the better. Like that's why we have MVP.
Yeah.
We don't build the ideal solutions. We build like something that already we can show, we can like get feedback. And I think right now it is very easy to build something like your prototype in 1 hour or like 2 hours, and then show it like corridor testing, or like, I don't know, show to your colleagues, to go to the street and like ask people to, hey, like, can you just use it on my phone and do something? But also like what I like to do is to ask AI for the feedback, even though like you need to understand that, like GPT-5 is a bit better with that, like to be more critical.
Like honest.
yeah. But still, like you can show something for the AI, and I use it a lot. I have like different GPTs, like different personas, and I ask and I collaborate with them, because like the goal here is to see some blind spots. So it is not honest feedback. Only like your customer can give you like feedback, or you can like see how they use your product, and you can make some decisions on that. But having this like AI co-pilots, GPTs, can just give you some blind spots. Like I usually what I do, I share my PRD, or like something like some documentation, or like my pitch, and I ask like, hey, can you read it and like give me your honest opinion on the blind spot? And like you can read it and get some insights that are really good. Some will be like really, that doesn't make sense. Like because you ask it to criticize, so it will criticize you. Maybe like it is not that big of a deal, but still, like I remember that before, it will take me like in 1 week to find someone from user research, from someone from sales, and ask them, find the time in their calendar, give them my product, 10 minutes with them, just to like walk them through the user flow, and then see something or give feedback or get feedback. But now it is like faster. But again, like it's not that you don't need to do this like feedback session with sales or with user researcher or with a customer. It's just like you can now do one more iteration and get it faster. And then when you get to sales or your customer, your prototype, your idea will be a bit more to the point. So I think it's really cool. And I think product, like this is incredible for product managers, that you can actually have these iteration cycles more frequent, and then at the end your result can be like, can actually solve the user problem.
Yeah, I was listening to this podcast. It was the Diary of a CEO, and they discussed AI and how people use it. And their main point was, don't leave out your critical thinking. I like that you said that you prepared stuff, and sure, you can use AI, but you're in control, right? With regards to what does this PRD look like? What are going to be the requirements? What is this pitch? What is the essence?
Yeah.
And you can ask for feedback, but you're still using your critical thinking. You're still using your brain, basically.
Yeah.
You can also do the opposite and say, this is what I'm thinking. Give me a PRD. Give me a product pitch.
Yes. I did it last week with a PRD. So there is this really cool product, Chat PRD. I think you've heard about it. I really love it. It's really cool. And I put a pitch, like business pitch, several paragraphs in the field that for me is not like, it's finance. I'm not into finance, but like I know some things. And I just wanted to see what output, like what PRD can I get. And it did really good job. It did all well. But the problem is that it was very like, because basically AI knows everything about how product work right now. But what I want to build is something new. So it gives me the PRD for something that is basically a copy of already existing product.
Yeah.
It didn't innovate. It didn't give me the vision of how the world can look like in future if I change something in the way how like finance process works. So what it means is that even though like you can build PRD in 5 minutes, you still need to have your critical thinking. You still need to understand what you want to build, how you want to build, and why. Because like other way, it will be just like something that no one need, because like there are already 10 other products that can do pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It can make it faster. It can give beautiful like competitive research. But still like you need to own the idea. You need to own the solution. Yeah.
Yeah, this insight of, this is not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the vision that I have.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just cannot get there.
Yeah.
I think that's really funny. Yeah. Like, and it makes sense, right? Because it's so much trained on history, and
exactly.
we are making synthetic data,
Yeah.
but synthetic data can only get you so far.
Exactly.
There is always going to be room for innovation.
Exactly.
Luckily.
Exactly.
That's where we make a difference.
Still.
Still. Yeah. I think a lot about product development and also how I use AI. For me, the podcast is my product, basically.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to optimize with regards to titles and click-through rate and everything.
Yeah.
And now I have a full transcript that just gets generated.
Yeah.
I feed it to AI, and usually I have a template to give me title ideas, to give me thumbnail title ideas and everything. What I've tried to experiment with as of late, and I'm quite happy with that, is I can really feel sometimes where I've hit the depth of a certain model, where we align and we say, this is going to be the perfect title, or we have a few options and one of these should be the most perfect one. Then I switch models.
Yeah.
Actually, I go completely, because I'm Claude first or Gemini first with regards to this template. I go to another model. I go to ChatGPT 5 or Gemini specifically. And then I go, this is what I've been working on. Give me feedback, and like, what do you think? And then there might be an insight which I didn't think of, and I improve, and then I bring that back to another thing. I can go so deep with regards to this rabbit hole and back and forth.
Exactly.
I've been really enjoying that, trying to get to the essence of things and being like, this is really what I think is going to make a difference with regards to. It's so simple. It's like title click-through rate, but it's like the bread and butter of people watching your video.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that. I think I can take that with me and also do that from a product sense, where I think this is really going to be my pitch. This is the purpose. These are the values.
Yeah.
Take that, use it in a different model and be like, this is what I've been working on. Give me feedback or give me alternatives, and then just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like switching models. I also like use different models for different jobs, let's say. Also Claude for everything that I actually want to write. I use Claude.
Yeah.
But with ChatGPT, like with GPT-5, now I am using it also a lot for like my critical thinking, let's say. Yeah. And also it is interesting that we use these models not only like for our personal project, but also in work.
Yeah.
And I have this project where part of the product was a prompt, and also like if you change the model, your output can be different. So when you experiment and try to get the solution, you also experiment not only with like backend, with design. You also experiment with prompt, and not only with like prompt as like text, but also like with the model. What model can work better, and then like there's new model, and you need to check maybe it works better for you. So it's like new dimension. It's cool, but it's like very additional thing that you need to know as like a team, as a product.
Yeah, it's like an additional metric.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little bit out of your control. It is not as predictable as any of the previous metrics. And then a new model comes out. It's like it can be make or break for your product.
Exactly.
No, I completely agree. I'm wondering, since you've been in product teams where the purpose was to build AI features, what have you seen with regards to product composition or team compositions, with regards to disciplines, people that are wide or people that are depth or T-shaped versus pie-shaped, in engineers, but also beyond that with regards to research, data and AI? What is a good team composition from your experience?
Well, I think the main aspect of every person in the team in this like AI era is curiosity. So can you be curious enough to learn? Because as I mentioned before, like there are so many things that are unknown right now, and like no one knows them. So you need to just experiment. You need to try new ways. So this is like the main thing that you need to have on your team, like for people in your team. And then in terms of like how I see the future of teams, they will, from my experience and like that I really believe in, they will be more flat in terms of like, I don't know, when I started, I had 2 teams of engineers, and like in one team there are like 4 to 6 engineers, and then there is a designer, and then there's like part of user researcher. I don't see that we need it anymore in that amount. So I don't say that we don't need these functions, but we don't need like 6 engineers anymore. Why? If you can create a product with like 1 backend, 1 frontend, and they can generate, of course, like they need to refactor it after. But it's like smaller team that can actually go faster. And I think that in general, this will be the future. So you have like small engineering team. I still think that you need to have this function of like designer, PM, and user researcher. Maybe they will be not like for PM, I think it needs to be dedicated, but for like designer and for user researcher, maybe they can be merged. Maybe they can also be distributed between like different teams. But I think the future is in these like faster iterations. So if you iterate faster, you just need to be smaller team, more autonomous, but with like all these functions included, that like you can actually operate as like one unit and do these iterations. So I don't think that we don't need engineers, we don't need designers, we don't need user researchers, no, but maybe we don't need them in this amount that we have right now. But of course, like it is very different, because honestly, I never had, for example, user researcher that is only in my team. So it's always like shared between different teams.
Exactly. My hope is that, and it's kind of hard to do that now, but hopefully in the future is differently. If there is one problem and we're looking towards different solutions, there can be multiple teams trying to solve this one problem, right? Because right now, if there's one problem, usually you spin up one team and they try and tackle that problem. It's the same people. But if you already work in smaller teams, then you can have a few teams trying to tackle that problem. And they can learn from each other, but they also can just work very isolated and see what the results are. And the results can be leading with regards to the best outcome.
This is very interesting, because I've been thinking about it a lot, and I see that there is a big risk that when you have different teams that are autonomous and then that can tackle like this problem space, they can do the same things, or they can go in such different directions that like it will be impossible to merge them together. I mean, like the product that they produce. So I think it is important in future to like still make it very clear in terms of strategy and in terms of like alignment on what is actually direction and what and how we are building. Because like even now in the big companies, like you've heard, I think, this story that like, for example, in Google, there are several teams that are building for the same problem, but they create different solutions, and then like the best solution wins, let's say. So it happens already, and I think it will be happening more and more. And on the one hand, I understand that like, yes, maybe someone can make better solution, but maybe we can make it somehow different. Maybe we can like not put all the resources to do the same things. Maybe we can distribute our resources in a way that like you are working on this problem space, you are working on this problem space, but we have very clear like North Star, we have very clear product strategy, we understand our business, that we are in a way going in the same direction. We like solving the same high level problem.
Yeah. I feel like it's the rules of the game. If there are no clear boundaries or if there's no clear purpose, then what I've seen is just anarchy.
Yeah, exactly.
They just go everywhere.
Yeah.
And I like that one of the expectations of engineers is to think more with regards to product, knowing your business, know your domain, be close to your customers, know what to build and then build it. Instead of just building things and getting really enthusiastic about the technical side. Like there are still people like that, but I do feel this trend towards more product-oriented engineers, which is a good thing. But then if you have that full responsibility, if you have both the responsibility of product and engineer, then indeed you're kind of the orchestrator of your own ship and people can go any which way.
Yeah. I think that it is still important to have this collaboration, to have people with different opinions. Because like when you are a solopreneur, it is cool. You don't need to align with anyone. You can do everything by yourself, but you can be so focused on one way of thinking that you can miss very important opinions. You can miss very important point of views. And like, you can have blind spots. And yes, it is cool. You can do everything by yourself. But even like when I now do some like side projects in AI, like some vibe coding tools, I still share it in my LinkedIn. I still like just share it with my friends and like I ask for feedback because I've built it by myself for me. But I want other people to also use it. I want other people's opinion. Yeah. So I think it's important still.
Yeah, absolutely. The teams that I've worked in that have been the most effective was where people felt safe enough to ask feedback for each other. But also looking at disciplines is when there was a good relationship specifically between product and engineering. And I think I highlight that because in some of the teams where there has been dysfunctional behavior, that relationship just wasn't as close with regards to trust or with regards to ownership of different artifacts. From your perspective and your experience, what are the expectations of engineers? And have they evolved or are they still kind of similar?
I don't know, like if it is our current market expectations or my expectations. But I really like the thing that you mentioned before really resonates with me, that like engineers is not the only person who like just get the requirements and produce code. Like, no, why? I can do the same now with AI. I can like put my requirements and get the code. No, this is the person who can also understand the product space, problem space, and who can also like relate to what we are building for customers. At Mira, I think this is like really cool setup that we had, where we had weekly sessions with our engineers where I shared our current user problems, and we brainstormed together because they, like engineers, they can have some solutions that I just never thought about. And maybe like they are very technical, but still there are some things that I can take out of it and like with my designer, and we can build together something really cool. And that I really like when engineers, they push back for product. I mean, like sometimes it's a bit too much, but whatever. I like when engineers push back in a way, not that like, it will create enormous amount of code, and like then it will be tech debt, and like we will die. But when they push back in terms of like, but we are not solving customer problem, like, or this is not what we need to build because like this is not our business case, let's say. So when people understand different aspects of business and different aspects of product, and cannot like and can say it out loud in terms of like push back in a way that like actually makes sense.
Yeah.
It is really cool. And it's for engineers, but also like for all other functions. I think when you understand the business, when you understand the customer, it's just like much more sense also for your motivation, of course. But I think for engineers now, it is important to have this connection.
Yeah, I feel like in teams where people understand the business, like I feel as a product person or in my previous role being responsible for product, I would just miss things. The domain can be complex. And then I have really good engineers next to me that hold me accountable and say, these are the things, and we haven't really accommodated for them. I love that. It's like, it's not me just thinking and being the orchestrator, it's everyone thinking alike. And then it makes it so much easier to kind of build and do the right thing, or have a smaller risk of building the wrong thing. It's all about risk management in the end. It's all about trade-offs as well. You mentioned one thing which I think is interesting, and that's the concept of tech debt within a product. I came from a software engineering background with regards to tech debt, building things. If it's too much code, if it's too complex, is it worth it with regards to actually solving the right problem? I would also be the person that pushes back. So it naturally makes sense. I wanted to try the product role. But I also felt like it was my responsibility to have some discussion with regards to, is this going to be something we build and throw away? What is going to be tech debt for the long term? I've played around with regards to building features and having small part of tech debt in the same cycle, let's say, or only doing product and then doing a cycle of kind of cleanup. I still don't know what works well. In the end, I just decided this is also a team preference. This is something I can align with stakeholders. I can always create clarity and communicate about it. But if this is the team preference, then let's do it. It gives people energy. It makes people motivated. And I feel like that's an underrepresented statistic. It's like developer happiness. If developers are happy, your product flies.
That's true. That's true.
How do you manage more of the operational kind of tech debt related things from a product angle?
I think I believe my team. So like we have this always, I try to build this trust and have this like very clear, like I believe you. So I really think that you can make this decision like better than me, than a product person. But on the other hand, it is very important to understand the risks. Like, okay, we can like ship now 10 features, but it will come with the price of like 1 month of tech debt, let's say. And then like you decide, it's also can be something that like you can have some external deadlines. Let's say you have some like demo, you have some sales call, and like, you just need to build something right now. But then you need to be very clear with like your stakeholders that like, okay, but then like 1-2 weeks, we will just like clean it up. And then with the team, it is also important. I don't like when we as a team have something like for, let's say, 2 weeks, only like cleaning up the mess that we produced before. Because like also from your motivation, like what was your 2 weeks? I was doing nothing. I was like cleaning up.
Which is brooming.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand that like for your motivation, like, it's not a good one. So I really like to distribute it in a way that, we are building things like 30%, let's say, of our week. We are building something new, then we do some tests, we like, fix bugs. And then we have this like tech debt that we also need to deal with. And I think this is a good one. But sometimes my team say, let's just like build it now. And then like all people of our team will be dealing with the tech debt. Like if it is your decision as a team and like, everyone is agree, then let's do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mentioned developer happiness a bit before. And I'm curious to hear what your perspective is on developer happiness, or what have you seen that makes developers just really happy?
Oh, I think it depends on people, but for teams that I worked with, they are really happy when we make the difference, when we create something that actually like that is impactful. And impactful not in the way that like, I don't know, we increase activation for 30%. Yeah, we might do it, but like, yeah, usually it takes time. But yeah, we make impact in terms of we adopted like, I don't know, Copilot, or like we produce something with like this new technology, or we run A/B tests and we already see results. So it's just if you can create this impact, and that's why like tech that is very often is not impactful enough, because like you don't create anything. But yes, I think that's from my previous experience, when you feel that like you're moving forward, I think that's when you have a lot of just like feeling that you're stuck. This is like the worst motivation. Like then people really don't want to and just like go to work. They don't want to produce new things. They don't have any ideas, and etc. So this is like the really something that you should avoid. This like feelingness that you're stuck and you don't want and you don't need. You cannot like move forward. So this is also very important as a PM to like sense this feeling. Sometimes it's really strange, like I don't know, you're waiting for, I don't know, a proof from someone. So you as a PM can just go to other PM and like really ask.
Yeah, we need this.
Very kindly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but on the other hand, like, just like this feeling of, are we going to the right direction? Are we moving forward? Are we like getting closer? It is really important. And I think for like engineers, this is something that build their happiness, and like this feeling that I actually make the difference. Maybe like it is not a new product that like everyone is happy about right now, but it is something that I created. Yeah,
it's still a purpose kind of feeling. And the product is very much involved in that.
And I think this is why it is also important for a PM to create this like clarity for strategy, and like to build this connection between engineers, between your team and the like business, and like the high level vision, why we are doing this. And I remember one of my engineers, he asked me at some point, like, if I now go to my team and ask them, what is our vision? Can they answer? And back then I realized that like, they cannot. And then I spent a lot of time to just like build it with them together. So it was like our team vision that was co-created together with engineers. And then at some point I remember I was just like asking my team, so what are we building? And they were like, we empowering like, and it was really cool because they just felt this like belonging, and also like they co-created together with me. So it was like also their creation. So they felt very deep connection with that.
This is a skill for me that can be really, really beneficial, or it can be, if you don't execute it properly, it can really just make a team disconnect. Because if you have spent time on a purpose and another person comes in and we're doing this purpose session again, you'll feel lost. I feel like where it works really well is where people indeed feel connected to it and they can act and execute upon it, right? There's a risk with regards to kind of this experimentation culture that we have now, where people don't feel this fulfillment because you do an experiment and it fails. You do an experiment and it fails, and you want the success. Communication is everything. So if you see failure as also progress, then that can be motivating for people, because we're getting closer and our experiments are becoming better and better, and we are getting there. But I feel like communication and clarity, these responsibilities as a product, they are now more valuable than ever with regards to kind of how a product team functions and executes.
Especially with all the information that we have, like all the Slack channels. It's just like so easy to fly away and like don't just lose the sense of where we are, what are we building, what are we doing.
And I think it's in every role that I've done, for me, there's a challenge of tunnel vision, because there's more and more responsibilities going to engineers, but also product. I think user research, data and AI, those are all kind of skills where it's becoming very broad, which means that
Yeah.
you only have a finite amount of time. You focus on this one thing. And the fact that you focus is good because then focus brings depth and it brings clarity with regards to that specific point. But you have all these other things.
Yeah.
And you might be tunnel visioned. If I focus on specifically the operations of my team,
Yeah.
I might disregard if people are actually happy, or I might disregard if we're going in the right direction. If I focus, are we going in the right direction? I might disregard indeed kind of the process things. And it really helps me with regards to the total responsibilities that I have in asking for feedback.
Yeah.
Because people bring their perspective and they also have a focus on one
Yeah.
thing. We delivered products and product after product, and the feedback that I got was we didn't fix up this tech debt. And I could make the decision on, was that a purposeful decision, or did I disregard that? Did I miss that? And for me, that's incredibly valuable with regards to product and growth. How do you handle feedback? Do you have like a specific process? Is that on the fly? Is it more as you go?
Yeah. What kind of feedback are you talking about?
Like, I think it's both feedback for you in a specific product role, you within a team, but also feedback with regards to what have we done in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think it is like still it is very like I feel very vulnerable when I got feedback. Like it's like me as a person, like I'm a human being. So this is something that I really work upon. And yeah, I think it is important to have this like very open relationship with your team, and also like this kind of ask for feedback that is like not, for example, I really appreciate when people praise me, because like, you know, usually you give feedback when something goes really bad.
Yeah.
And then you end up with like thinking, okay, why I get only like this feedback that like what I need to improve. So I think it is very important to actually like have give feedback about something that people do really good. Like I really like that. Like one of my engineers, she had really tight deadline. So what she did, she generated some code with like AI Copilot, and it solved the problem. And no one ever done it in the team before, so it was really cool. And like we make the whole big deal out of this, because let's show other people that like this can also actually be done. So this is actually really cool. Yeah, but of course, like when you got feedback that something is not working well, this is your moment of reflection. But I think it is important to be in this like growth mindset that first, when you get this feedback, it means that there is a growth opportunity. It's not that like something is bad in you. No, it's like the opportunity for you to grow, and the same for your product. Like it's really cool for you as a product when like you have this, I don't know, like usability session and you see that everyone nailed it. But honestly, like it never happened that way. So every time first you have like people like you think that they will get it, they don't understand like this button, they like don't understand where to go, they don't see the point of like this flow and etc. And of course, this is a frustration. This is like normal, because like you put your soul in this to build it, and like it didn't work out. But on the other hand, you tried, and now you understand a bit better. So like your next attempt will be better. So I try to think about it in the same way, product or your like personal one, that this is something that like we build with our best assumption. We act with our best assumptions. It's very rare when like people do things because like they want to hurt you. No, they also have like some good intention in their mind, but like it didn't work out. Okay, now we know that like this way it doesn't. Let's try something new. And for that also like you also can have your like collaborators. You can ask for feedback. You can ask for help, and this is fine. Like asking for help, this is something that like I also one of my lessons is asking for help is actually a very brave thing to do. It's not that like, I don't know, I'm so I've been in product for so long, so I know everything and like I don't need to ask for help anymore. No, you still do, especially now. So yeah, it's the same for your product, for your team dynamic, even like for me as a parent. You try something with like your best guess, with your best intention. It doesn't work. Okay, we reflect on this, we move forward.
Yeah.
of course, sometimes you reflect on something and you understand, maybe it just like doesn't make sense to even continue. It's also important to mention. But just try it out. It's like experimentation. The whole life is experimentation. So we don't know.
Yeah.
And continue.
Have you had that experience, the last one that you mentioned, where you reflected and you said, okay, maybe this thing that I'm building, maybe it's not actually solving the problem that I want it to be?
Yeah, I had it once. I mean, like, of course, not once, but like, I think one time that was extremely painful for me because it was very cool product and it was a lot of resources, like a lot of resources, like the whole team. And and at some point we just missed the time. So it was like the set of, let's say, events, different decisions, and etc. And like the market, that the thing that we were building in the beginning just like at some point didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it is very hard, especially when you're like very near the end.
You put everything into this.
Yeah, exactly. And also like, if you reflect on like, okay, like what my like 3 months will look like, I was building this, and now this is like this big product that like everyone is happy about, and you don't have this story. Of course, it is frustrated, but on the other hand, it is much better to stop at some point when you understand that like this is not what we need, and refocus. It is extremely painful, extremely hard, but this is so cool to do it and to have this like courage to stop it and move on to something else.
Yeah. For me, it's a bit of a paradox, right? Because you want to care about what you're building, you want to care about your users, but then if there's so much information, data or user feedback that says that what you're building is just not, it's losing its purpose, then you can push. And you can push as hard as you can, and at some point, you might just have to accept that it's just done.
I also feel, I also saw this case when like you build something, you already understand that like it doesn't work, but you still can create a story inside the company. You can like find the numbers that will show some progress.
Yeah, very specific.
Yeah, you still can find the quotes from customers, like from your alpha users that will show the value. But like, honestly, does it actually make sense? Like, does it create an impact? Yeah, no.
Yeah. I feel like then it kind of hits your integrity. You're just window dressing at this point. But it might be, I like that you mentioned that people that are sometimes doing something that you don't understand, it doesn't come from a bad place.
Yeah.
I've rarely seen it come from a bad place. So even there where someone might be window dressing, they might really just believe in only those specific numbers, filter out everything that they think is noise, but actually reality, and then still come in from kind of their perspective.
Yeah.
I say this a lot on the show. I'm very naive. So that also means that what people tell me, I believe. I don't believe they go behind my back and they do other things. It's just the way that I am. And it makes some things easier, and sometimes it surprises me when things are otherwise. But that's life as well.
Yeah, but I realize that like it is easier to have this belief than the other way around, when you think that like, everyone has like other agenda. So I am also like this kind of believer.
Yeah. To round off, there's a lot of people listening, I think mainly software engineers, but also product people. There's a lot of things accelerating. Products with regards to AI features or AI tooling with regards to productivity. If there's one piece of advice that you can leave people off with, either from a product sense or more from an engineering mindset, from your experience, what would that be?
It's to be curious and not afraid to experiment. Because especially right now, like honestly, there is like no rules on how things will go. Like everything is changing every week. Like we don't know what will happen in 1 year, 2 years. We don't know what happened like in, I don't know, like next month. So don't afraid to experiment and just try it out, use it. If it works, cool, just integrate it to your workflow, integrate it to your life. If it doesn't, it's also a good learning. Then you know what doesn't work, how you should not do, and then move on and continue, because now is the time.
Yeah, we'll round off here then. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you on the next one.